Hey, I'm Sam Ross here with Claim Climbers, and today I want to talk about some of the biggest problems veterans face when dealing with the VA. Because for a lot of veterans, the issue is not just the condition itself. It is the process, it is the confusion, and it is the waiting. It is the feeling that even when something is real, proving it can feel like a battle all by itself. Now, every claim is different. Every veteran's history is different. But there are some patterns that show up again and again. And when you understand those patterns, you start to see why so many veterans get frustrated so quickly. A lot of veterans are dealing with multiple issues at the same time. They may have physical pain, mental health symptoms, sleep problems, headaches, toxic exposure concerns, not really knowing what was in the water you drank, secondary conditions. And on top of that, they are expected, better yet, you are expected to understand forms, deadlines, evidence, service connection, medical terminology, and C&P exams. That's a lot. It's an entire course on its own. And most veterans like you are not walking into this process as legal experts or medical evidence experts. You didn't go to school just for VA disability. You just want to get help, and we understand. One of the biggest problems veterans face is not knowing what the VA actually needs to see. A veteran may believe their condition is obvious, and from a human perspective, it may be obvious. But the VA process still depends on evidence, documentation, and clear links. If the condition is not properly diagnosed, not clearly tied to service, or not fully explained in the medical record, that can create major problems. Another big issue is misunderstanding what makes evidence strong. A lot of veterans think more records automatically means better evidence, but that is not always true. You can have a stack of records and still be missing the one thing that really matters: a clear explanation or a strong diagnosis. A medical rationale. It could seem like it's all speculation. A service connection pathway. That is where a lot of claims get weaker than they should. Another problem are C&P exams. A lot of veterans walk into those exams without understanding how important they are or how limited you can feel. Sometimes the exam is thorough, sometimes it's not. Sometimes a veteran leaves feeling like key parts of their story were not really captured. Maybe the provider did not seem like they had reviewed your records. And if that exam ends up shaping the rating decision, that can have a huge impact. Then there's the issue of secondary conditions and missed connections. A veteran might focus only on the most obvious condition and never realize the other symptoms or diagnoses may also be claimable, or the symptoms they're recognizing and experiencing aren't even tied to their original diagnosis they thought. Or they may not understand how one service-connected condition can lead to another. And finally, one of the most damaging problems is burnout. A lot of veterans, you get tired of paperwork, tired of waiting, tired of trying to explain themselves, explain yourself to yourself over and over, tired of feeling like they are fighting uphill just to be understood. And that burnout, it causes veterans to miss figuring out what their claim should actually have, rush filing, or walk away from the process before your evidence is even developed. These problems matter because they affect real outcomes. A veteran can have a valid claim and still struggle because the process is technical, evidence-driven, and hard to navigate without guidance. That is why understanding the system matters so much. Not because you should have to become an expert overnight, but because knowledge helps reduce avoidable mistakes. If you are going through the VA process, slow down enough to ask great questions. What is actually diagnosed? What evidence connects it to service? Am I saying this is connected to service? Or am I saying it's caused from another condition? What exam findings matter? What's missing? Can I tell the full story? What could be secondary to this? What part of the story is not yet clearly documented? That's where buddy statements and personal statements can come in and save you from where it's not documented. When we talk about the biggest problems veterans face with the VA, we are really talking about a mix of complexity, unclear evidence, missed connections, difficult exams, and plain old exhaustion. And none of that means that your condition's not real. It just means the process can be a lot harder than it really should be. I'm Sam Ross here with Claim Climbers. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.